Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Chapter 1. Waking Up in the Dark. I open my eyes, but I do not know where I am. Everything is bright and confusing. My body feels incredibly heavy, and I have medical tubes attached to my skin. A robotic computer voice is speaking to me, asking me simple math questions to check my brain. I answer the questions, but I realize something terrifying. I do not know my own name. Slowly, I look around the small white room. It looks like a medical clinic, but the gravity feels wrong. I see two other beds next to mine, occupied by two people. I slowly crawl out of my bed to check on them, but my heart drops. Both of them have been dead for a very long time. I am completely alone in a strange, silent place. As I explore the rooms, my memories slowly begin to return in small flashes. I remember that I am on a spaceship far away from Earth. Then, I finally remember my name, Ryland Grace. I am not a brave astronaut or a military pilot. I am simply a middle school science teacher. I teach young kids about biology, chemistry, and the universe. Suddenly, a darker memory hits me, and I understand why I am here. The Earth is facing a terrible global disaster. Scientists discovered a strange, microscopic alien organism multiplying on the surface of the sun. This organism eats light and energy, and it is slowly making the sun grow colder. They named this organism astrophage, which means star eater. Because of the astrophage, the Earth is getting colder every day. In a few decades, all the oceans will freeze, the plants will die, and humanity will starve to death. The governments of the world panicked and decided they had to work together. They created a massive, desperate project to find a cure for this cosmic disease. And somehow, I, a simple science teacher, became the most important person in the universe. Chapter 2. The Suicide Mission. My memory gets clearer as I sit alone in the quiet spaceship. I remember a strict, powerful woman named Eva Stratt. She was the leader of the global task force trying to save Earth. She forced me to join her team because I was an expert on microscopic biology. We studied the stars and noticed something very strange. Every star near our solar system was infected by the astrophage, except for one. This healthy star was called Tau Ceti. It was 12 light years away from Earth. We realized that something near Tau Ceti must be killing the astrophage. If we could find that something, we could bring it back and save our sun. So, humanity built the biggest and fastest spaceship in history, the Hail Mary. But there was a terrible catch to this grand mission. We did not have enough fuel to make the return trip. The Hail Mary was a suicide mission, a one-way ticket to the stars. The crew was supposed to find the cure, pack the information into small, robotic probes, and send those probes back to Earth. The astronauts themselves would die alone in deep space. I was originally just the science teacher preparing the astronauts for the journey, but right before the launch, a tragic accident happened. The original scientist died, and I was the only person left who understood the alien biology. Stratt forced me onto the ship, and they put me into a deep medical coma for the long journey. Now, I am awake, and my two crewmates are dead. I am the only human being left to finish the mission. I look out the window of the spaceship and see the bright light of Tau Ceti. I have arrived at my destination, but as I look at the radar screen, my blood runs cold. I am not the only spaceship orbiting this star. Chapter 3. First Contact. The radar screen is beeping loudly. There is a massive object moving quickly toward my ship. It is another spaceship, but it is not built by humans. It is made of a strange, dark material and has a completely alien design. My hands are shaking with excitement and fear. I am about to make the first alien contact in the history of humanity. The alien ship stops near the Hail Mary. It sends a small mechanical cylinder over to my ship using a long robotic arm. I put the cylinder into my science lab and open it carefully. Inside, I find a model of a star system. I realize they are communicating with me through science and math. They are showing me where they came from. I build a tunnel to connect our two ships, but we cannot breathe the same air. The alien needs a completely dark environment, extreme heat, and an atmosphere made of ammonia. We build a clear wall between us so we can see each other safely. When the alien finally appears, I am completely shocked. It looks like a giant, five-legged spider made of dark, heavy rock. It has no eyes, and it sees by using sound, like a bat. The alien speaks by playing beautiful musical chords. I use my computer to analyze the sounds and create a translation program. We slowly teach each other our languages. I learned that the alien's name sounds like a series of musical notes, so I decide to call him Rocky. I tell him my name is Grace. Rocky is a brilliant engineer. He tells me that his home planet, Arid, is also infected by the astrophage. His entire crew died during their journey, just like mine. We are two lonely survivors from two different worlds, facing the exact same apocalypse. Rocky points his robotic claw at me and says through the translator, "You and me, we fix space together." Chapter 4. The Science of Saving Worlds. Rocky and I become excellent friends. We spend every day working together on opposite sides of our clear glass wall. We sleep, eat, and do science experiments while talking about our different cultures. Rocky is amazed that humans need to sleep 8 hours a day. I am amazed that Rocky can remember every single detail he has ever heard with perfect accuracy. We turn our attention to the planets orbiting Tau Ceti. We discover that one of the planets, named Adrian, is full of astrophage, but the star is still shining brightly. This means there is a predator on the planet that eats the astrophage. We fly the Hail Mary close to the dangerous atmosphere of Adrian. We use a long chain to collect samples from the clouds. When we look at the samples under my microscope, we find our miracle. It is a tiny, microscopic organism that hunts and eats the astrophage like a hungry wolf. I name this new organism Taumoeba. Rocky is so happy that he plays a joyful musical song. We have found the cure. We can save both Earth and Arid. But there is one major problem. The Taumoeba is very sensitive to nitrogen, which is a common gas on Venus, where the Earth's astrophage lives. If we send the cure to Earth, the nitrogen will kill the Taumoeba before it can save the sun. I have to use all my skills as a science teacher to solve this problem. I set up a laboratory experiment to force the Taumoeba to evolve. Over several weeks, I slowly add small amounts of nitrogen to their environment. Only the strongest survive. Finally, I create a super version of the Taumoeba that can survive the dangerous gases of Venus. Our work is completely finished. The cure is ready for both of our worlds. Chapter 5. A Choice Between Two Homes. The day finally comes for us to say goodbye. It is the saddest day of my life. Rocky gives me special fuel so I can survive for a few more years, but I still cannot return to Earth. Rocky prepares his ship to travel back to Arid with his samples of the Taumoeba. We press our hands against the glass wall one last time. "Goodbye, friend Grace," Rocky says. "Goodbye, friend Rocky," I reply. Rocky's ship flies away into the darkness. I turn my attention to the small robotic probes called beetles. I carefully load them with the cure, the scientific data, and my personal letters. I launch the beetles toward Earth, hoping they will arrive in time to save humanity. My mission is accomplished. Now, I just have to wait alone in space until I die. A few days later, while cleaning my laboratory, I make a terrifying discovery. I check the remaining Taumoeba in my microscope. To my absolute horror, I realize they have evolved too much. They have mutated, and they are now eating a special plastic material called xenonite. This is the exact material that Rocky's spaceship is made of. The Taumoeba will eat his fuel tanks, and Rocky will be trapped in deep space. I have a terrible choice to make. I can stay near Tau Ceti and live a quiet, safe life with the food I have left, or I can use my remaining fuel to chase after Rocky and save him. But if I save him, I will have to travel to Arid. I will live the rest of my life on a dark, incredibly hot alien planet, never seeing a human being again. I don't hesitate. I turn the ship around and fire the engines. I manage to find Rocky's broken ship just in time. I save my best friend. The ending of my story is not what I expected, but it is a happy one. Earth receives my probes, and the sun is saved. As for me, I live comfortably on Arid in a special climate-controlled dome built by Rocky's people. I am not a lonely astronaut anymore. I am doing what I love most. I am a science teacher standing in front of a class of young, blind rock spider aliens, teaching them about the wonders of the universe.